Good evening, everyone. I'm Virginia Tichenor, Festival Director for the West Coast Ragtime Festival. For those of you joining us for the first time, we're about to start our third and final program for today, Saturday. Our final program today will be the festival's traditional Saturday evening Centennial Show. This year, that means it's Ragtime 1920. Every piece in this show is from 1920, when ragtime was still the rage in America, but beginning to have to share the stage with jazz. Our show features many festival performers and is hosted by vocalist and song slide historian Sean Sharp. Before we begin, we have an important message from West Coast Ragtime Society's Board of Directors.
Welcome to the West Coast Ragtime Festival 1920s show. This blast from the past is brought to you by the West Coast Ragtime Society and is supported by donations from listeners like you. Thank you very much.
Here's how you can help support the musicians featured in this year's online West Coast Ragtime Festival. 100% of the donations received will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page or by going to the festival's page on PayPal using the addresses shown on screen. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call area code 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 20th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and 22nd, noon to 9 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can make a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support.
That was Nervous Rag, played by the Bohem Ragtime Jazz Band and led by Tomasz Itzes. Welcome everyone to Ragtime 1920. I'm Sean Sharp, your host for today's show, featuring songs and rags all copyrighted 1920. Next up, Kismet, an Arabian Foxtrot, played by Michael Chisholm. January 17, 1920, the start of Prohibition. America was dry, but Matt Tolentino will tell us of a magical place where you could still get a drink.
Well, here's an Irving Berlin tune from 1920, yes, 100 years ago, and it's a song all about Prohibition. And hey, 2020 may be lousy, but at least we don't have Prohibition, right? Here's a tune Irving wrote called I'll See You in CUBA. Not so far from here, there's a very lively atmosphere. Everybody's going there this year. And there's a reason, the season opened last July. Ever since the USA went dry, everybody's going there and I'm going too. Come on along to Cuba, there's where I'm going. Cuba, there's where I'll stay. dog-eyed Stellas, like the fellas Panatellas, Cuba, where all is happy. Cuba, where all is gay. Why don't you plan a wonderful trip to Havana? Hop on a ship and I'll see you in C-U-B-A. Take a friend's advice, drinking in the cellar isn't nice. Anybody who has got the price should be a Cuban. Have you been longing for the smile that you haven't had for quite a while? If you have, then follow me and I'll show the way. Come on along to Cuba, there's where I'm going. Cuba, there's where I'll stay. Cuba, where wine is flowing, and where dog-eyed Stellas, like the fellas Panatellas. Cuba, where all is happy. Cuba, where all is gay. With so much scotch and rye on the table, I'll drink till I won't be able to see you in C-U-B-A.
Whispering was the first released recording of conductor bandleader Paul Whiteman. A mega hit. Within a year, Whiteman's recording had sold over 2 million copies. Here are Richard Dowling and Frederick Hodges and their version of Whispering. Singer Mamie Smith made history when she cut a series of recordings for OK Records, including this one from her first session, You Can't Keep a Good Man Down. Here are Ivory and Gold, Jeff and Ann Barnhart. June 13, 1920, the United States Post Office Department ruled that children may not be sent via parcel post, even if postage was cheaper than a train ticket. Artie Matthews wrote 5 pastime rags, which Rudy Blesch called a 5-chapter synopsis of the St. Louis ragtime scene. In pastime rag number 4, be sure to listen for those right-hand crazy chord clusters in the A section. Marty Eggers will play it for us, assisted by Virginia Tichenor and T.J. Muller. June 15, 1920, Australian soprano Nellie Melba became history's first well-known performer to make a radio broadcast, the broadcast that changed the world. When shown the 450-foot radio mast at the Marconi factory, Melba was reputed to have said, "Young man, if you think I'm going to climb up there, you are greatly mistaken." Popular song hit and jazz standard Margie made its debut in 1920. Here are Carl Sonny Leyland and Margie.
Margie, oh yeah. I said, Margie, I'm always thinking about you, Margie. I'll tell the world I love you. Don't forget your promise to me. Well, I have bought the home ring and every little thing for Margie. You've been my inspiration, days are never blue. Well, after all is said and done, you're still the only one. Well, Margie, oh Margie, it's you. Well, after all is said and done, you're still the only one. Well, Margie, oh Margie, well, Margie, oh Margie, well, Margie, oh Margie, it's you.
The original Dixieland Jazz Band introduced Palestina, the instrumental version of our next song, Lena from Palestina. The song's chorus takes its opening phrase from a famous klezmer tune, Nyach a Bizzle. Here are Bub Sullivan on vocals and Petra Sullivan on piano.
In the Bronx of New York City lives a girl, she's not so pretty. Lena is her name. Such a clever girl is Lena, how she plays her concertina. Really, it's a shame. She's such a good musician, she got a swell position to go across the sea to entertain. And so they ship poor Lena way off to Palestina. But now I hear that she don't look the same. They say that Lena is the queen of Palestina, just because they like her concertina. She plays it day and night, she plays with all her might. She never gets it right, but how they love it, want more of it. I heard her play once or twice. Oh, murder, still it was nice. She was fat, but she got leaner, pushing on her concertina down old Palestina way. Arabella let her meet an Arab fella. She thought he was grand. On a camel's back a-swayin', you could hear Miss Lena playin' o'er the desert sand. She didn't play such new ones, for all she knew were blue ones. Still Yusuf sat and sittin' by his tent. And as he tried to kiss her, she heard that Arab whisper, "Oh, Lena, how I love your instrument." They say that Lena is the queen of Palestina, just because they like her concertina. Each movement of her wrist just makes them shake and twist. They simply can't resist. Her music funny, gets the money. There's nothing sounds like it should. So rotten, it's really good. All the girls, they're dressed like Lena. Some wear oatmeal, some farina. Down old Palestina, let's go see this Lena down old Palestina way.
Mel B. Kaufman, the king of the one-step, introduced his newest musical novelty, Stop It, in 1920. The tune was picked up by circus bands and has been played under the big top ever since. Chris and Jack Bradshaw will play their piano duet arrangement with their son, Derek Severud, on percussion. Broadway star and beloved comedian Fanny Brice introduced our next song. In the lyrics, you'll hear reference to Jim Jam Gems, which was a sensationalist and racy magazine dubbed the official magazine of the Barflies of America. Robyn and Steve Drivon give us Rose of Washington Square.
A garden that never knew sunshine once sheltered a beautiful rose. In the shadows it grew without sunlight or dew, as a child of the city grows. A butterfly flew to the garden from out of the blue skies above. The heart of the rose set aflutter with his wonderful tale of love. They talked to the birds and the bees, of the brooks and the meadows and trees. He whispered Rose of Washington Square, a flower so fair should blossom where the sun shines. Rose, for nature did not mean for one to blush unseen, but reign as queen of her own sweet garden rose. I'll never depart, but remain in your heart, your love to care. I'll bring the sunshine from the heavens to you, give you kisses that sparkle with dew. Rose of Washington Square. Well, that went sideways. Now, she's Rosie, the queen of the models. She used to live up in the Bronx. She wandered from there down to Washington Square and those bohemian honky-tonks. One day she met Elliott Adams. He said, "You're like roses with stems." A perfect impersonation. He asked her to pose for a picture on the cover of Jim Jam Gems. And that's how she first got her start. Now her life is devoted to art. They call her Rose of Washington Square. She's withering there in basement air. She's fading. Pose with or without her clothes. They say her Roman nose just seems to please artistic people bows. She's got plenty of those in second-hand clothes and nice long hair. She's got those Broadway vampires lashed to the mast. Ain't got a future, but boy, what a past. Rose of Washington Square. That is all. Thank you very much. That's it for us right now. Please be kind to one another. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
We heard about singer Mamie Smith earlier in today's program, but her most famous recording was Crazy Blues, the first recording of a blues by an African-American singer. Ignoring the advice of the OK Studios recording engineers, Mamie and her jazz hounds let her rip. The recorded result was a colossal hit that opened the way for other African-American artists. Maggie Linck and her jazz hounds give us Crazy Blues. The first commercial radio station in the United States, WWJ, began operations in Detroit, August 1920, and the first domestic radio sets came to stores a month later. James Scott was one of the big three of classic ragtime. On his gravestone, the epitaph reads, "The grace and beauty of his music will live always." Here to play James Scott's Modesty Rag is Jade Anderson. Once described as a shabby little shocker, Puccini's Tosca has been a favorite with opera lovers since its premiere in 1900. Composer Uladar Székely, called the Hungarian Scott Joplin, ragged the opera in 1920, and here to perform his Tosca rag is the Bohem Ragtime Jazz Band, led by Tomasz Itzes. The shimmy was a shocking, much banned, and very popular body-shaking dance, made famous by dancer Gilda Gray. James Scott wrote a song about it, The Shimmy Shake, and Stola Ytterli will sing it for us, with Morten Gunnar Larsen on piano.
Dance today, they call the shimmy say. Oh boy, this jazz is keen. I'll explain just what I mean. Now if you wanna know just how this dance will go, come to the cabaret. I'll show you how to sway. First look around and do yourself some picking, then get yourself a swell-looking chicken. Now let that jazz band play. Then wrap your arms around her like a father. Don't look so nice, or you needn't bother. Oh, what a thrill! Hey, hey! Let your shoulders teach us how to quiver, till you both begin to shake and shiver. Then you have her and do the Texas wiggle. 'Twill make her feel so good she'll have to giggle. That's the shimmy shake, I say. This dance has caused much strife, will make you quit your wife. A preacher leave his pit, a sane man have a fit, and if it's done just right, 'twill make her lose her sight, and then she'll fade away when you begin to sway. First look around and do yourself some digging, then get yourself a swell looking chicken. Now let that jazz band play. Then wrap your arms around her like a father. Don't look so nice, all you needn't bother. All of a thrill, hey, hey. Let your shoulders teach us how to quiver, till you both begin to shake and shiver. Then you have her all your way. Gaze in her eyes and do the Texas wiggle. 'Twill make her feel so good she'll have to giggle. That's the shimmy shake, I say.
Women got the vote when the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified on August 26, 1920. For our next number, in Madagascar Land, Matt Tolentino will be featured on the accordion. premiere recording of The Japanese Sandman was on the flip side of the recording of Whispering, both featuring Paul Whiteman and his Ambassador Orchestra. Elliott Adams and Michael Chisholm will perform their two-piano arrangement, in which they will introduce another 1920 song, So Long Oolong, How Long You Gonna Be Gone? George White's scandals, the brainchild of Broadway dancer George White, were modeled after the famous Ziegfeld Follies. The scandals, though, had a jazzier, sexier, more up-to-date image, and just to prove that, the 1920 score was composed by a young George Gershwin, one of America's newest and hottest popular composers. A skit on the 1920 scandals, called A Presidential Convention, ended with star Ann Pennington and girls launching into the Scandal Walk. Just listen to the song's chorus, and you'll hear more than just a hint of Debussy's Afternoon of a Faun. Gershwin expert Frederick Hodges will now give us the Scandal Walk. With the start of Prohibition, the big question was, where do you go to get a drink? Because although you couldn't sell alcohol, legally you could still drink it. Doctors now had a thriving business writing a certain kind of prescription. The Porcupine Ragtime Ensemble will tell us all about it. Bub Sullivan on vocals, Elliott Adams on piano, Petra Sullivan on violin, and Susan Desper on piccolo and flute.
Now we're going to play a song for you from 1920 that will cure your ills. This is Oh Doctor. Most everybody you meet nowadays seems to be feeling so blue. They said it is an imposition to enforce this prohibition, and I think so too. But Congress has given doctors the power to hand out the brandy and rye. And now in their office at most every hour, you're bound to hear somebody cry. Oh doctor, I'm feeling blue. Oh doctor, it's up to you. The drugstores at the corners are filled with liquor mourners. I told the drug clerk my condition. He said, go see your physician. Oh doctor, don't feel my pulse. That's not what I need for results. Write the prescription and please make it say, take with your meals, I eat 10 times a day. Oh doctor, help me pull through, for I'll never get well till you do. Congress told us that liquor must go. Things look quite bad for a while. We never thought they'd pass new bylaws that would force on us these dry laws, but now we can smile. For I have a way to fool each politician who said every state must go dry. And now when I'm sad and I'm lacking ambition, I go to my doctor and cry. Oh doctor, I'm feeling blue. Oh doctor, it's up to you. The drugstores on the corners are filled with liquor mourners. I told the drug clerk my condition. He said, go see your physician. Oh doctor, don't feel my pulse. That's not what I need for results. Write the prescription and please make it say, take with your meals only 10 times a day. Oh doctor, help me pull through, for I'll never get well till you do.
A form of ragtime that was popular in the 1920s was novelty piano, which took the ragtime form and added more tricks and used more advanced harmonies. Pianist Roy Bargy was one of the composers of this style, and his Oh Me Oh My will be played by Vincent Johnson. Described as an Oriental foxtrot, the song San has since become a jazz standard. And to perform that song, we give you the Key System Rhythm Review, starring Lisa Gonick on vocals and ukulele, with Jeff Green on banjo, Matt Tolentino on saxophone, Virginia Tichenor on piano, Marty Yeagers on tuba, and T.J. Muller on cornet and vintage duck call. The American Professional Football Association was named on September 17, 1920. Star athlete Jim Thorpe was president, and the Akron Pros won the first championship. 2 years later, the association was renamed the National Football League. Next up, some Irving Berlin as sung and played by Jeff Barnhart.
This next tune was written by Irving Berlin. It's a great tune from 1920, And I'd like to dedicate it tonight to any of you out there listening who in the last 30 or 40 years has voted someone into political office on any level with whom you were later disappointed, perhaps sorry you did that. It's a song called After You Get What You Want, You Don't Want It. It's one of Berlin's very philosophical numbers. I hope you enjoy hearing it. I know I enjoy playing it. It's a great one. Listen to me, honey dear. Something's wrong with you, I fear. It's getting harder to please you, harder and harder each year. I don't want to make you blue, but you need a talking to. Like a lot of people I know, well, here's what's wrong with you. After you get what you want, you don't want it. If I give you the moon, you'd grow tired of it soon. You're like a baby, you want what you want when you want it. And although you're presented with what you want, you're discontented. You're always wishing and wanting for something. When you get what you want, you don't want what you get. And though you sit upon my knee, you'll grow tired of me. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. Then they give you your money's worth, a second verse. Well, now don't you say that I'm unkind. Think it over and you'll find you've got a changeable nature. You're always changing your mind. There's a longing in your eyes that is hard to satisfy. You're unhappy most of the time. Here's the reason why. After you get what you want, you don't want it. If I give you the moon, you grow tired of it soon. You're like a baby, you want what you want when you want it. And though you are presented with what you want, you're discontented. You're always wishing and wanting for something. When you get what you want, you don't want what you get. And though you sit upon my knee, you'll grow tired of me. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. Now after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. That very well may be true.
Railroads were an integral part of American life by 1920. Railroad lines crisscrossed the country and carried people, manufactured goods, food, the Daily Mail, and express packages. Railroad Blues, published in 1920, was composed by Lucky Roberts. Here's Adam Swanson to tell us more.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Swanson, and I'm just delighted to be a part of the 1920 Ragtime Centennial Concert. I'm going to play a piece for you which was kind of a minor hit that year. It was written by the great ragtime composer Charles Luckieth Roberts. And I had a very good friend, the late historian Mike Montgomery, who knew Lucky personally. And Mike told me a lot about Lucky and showed me how to slide my fingers up and down the keys the way he did. Here is the original sheet music for Railroad Blues. And in case you can't read the inscription, it says, "For my good friend Mike from Lucky Roberts." The sheet music was arranged by Roy Bargy, but I learned it from Lucky's hand-played piano roll, and I try to play it more the way he did it. Railroad Blues.
For our final number, the Crown Syncopators, Virginia Tichenor on drums, Marty Eggers on tuba, and Frederick Hodges on piano, will play James Scott's Pegasus. This is Sean Sharp. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
John. I hope that you've enjoyed Day 2 of the 34th Annual Online West Coast Ragtime Festival. We have one more day of fantastic concert programs to enjoy, so rest up for more fun tomorrow. The great performers presented in this year's online version of the West Coast Ragtime Festival are being compensated solely by donations from viewers like you. 100% of the donations received will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page or by going to the festival's page on PayPal using the addresses shown on screen. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call area code 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 20th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and 22nd, noon to 9 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can make a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support. Please join us tomorrow, Sunday, November 22nd, for 3 more concert programs. Our complete festival schedule can be found on our website at the address shown on screen. Reminder that Bob Gonzalez is still manning the phone to accept your credit card donations for another hour or so. Good night. See you tomorrow.